YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Keezy. It ain't easy being Keezy, and in today's video, I'm going to teach you some small tips and tricks on how to go about authenticating like the fake versus real of EVISU. So, let's get it. Okay, so my only disclaimer for this video is that this is the way that I try to authenticate EVISU. Alright, now this is like what I've learned over the course of, I don't know, more than 10 years now buying into the brand. You don't have to go by what I say, and also, as a disclaimer, what I say is not foolproof. This is just what I've learned through purchasing the brand for so long, and then also looking up some information online. And also, I've had a lot of people that have messaged me, at least 10 this week, of people that have sent me messages on Instagram about authenticating EVISU, and I want to help, so I'm gonna make this video. Hopefully this can help you. Now, also another disclaimer is that we're only doing just your very basic EVISUs with the white goals on the back, both goals on the back. We're not doing like the other heritage EVISU jeans because EVISU makes so many different designs. So we're just doing this pair. So we're just gonna run the footage and hopefully this can help out. Alright, so best way to show you the difference between the two obviously is to have them here. So the one on the bottom is the authentic pair, and the one on the top is the fufu, the fake. The first thing I'm gonna point out is the color difference. So notice that this indigo it's actually, I know on camera it kind of looks black, but it's actually a very dark blue indigo. And typically a lot of the EVISUs that are really dark indigo are almost so dark that they're black color, kind of. And then a lot of the replicas, this one up top is the replica, and a lot of the replicas are sometimes the blue on camera when you're shopping on eBay and Grailed, it might not pop up as well, but you can usually tell over time that it's just too blue. And sometimes it's like this really fake indigo that's hard to explain unless you've seen it like many times. But I mean, you can already see the color difference between the two. It's a pretty big difference. Almost no matter what pair of authentic EVISUs I pull up to a fufu pair is gonna have a big color difference in the indigo color. So that's definitely one thing to look out for. All right, next thing we're gonna talk about the patches. Now, the patches have been done many different ways on the authentic pairs throughout the years. I'm not 100% sure what year this is specifically. This right here, just to clarify for people that want to understand, when it says lot number, sometimes the lot number will say something like 2008, 2017. That doesn't mean that that's the year. What that means is that that's the fit. And I'll try to show some images here maybe for you to give you an example of what I mean by that. But so this 0001 is the fit, and then the size. On the fake pair, a lot of them, I don't know why, but a lot of them don't put a lot number, maybe because they don't understand what the lot number means. And sometimes they put some like wacky numbers that don't go in accordance with actual authentic pairs. And then sometimes they don't even put a size on the fake ones, but that's not to say that the authentic ones don't also not put sizes. For example, this is an authentic pair of EVISUs with one goal on the right pocket, but right here when you check and see the lot number and the size, it actually doesn't say lot number or size, maybe because of the color of the patch. I don't know why they did that, but this is an authentic pair. So that's not always a signifier that if it doesn't have a lot number and size that it's fake, because I believe some of the authentic pairs that I've had don't have it sometimes. So another really big difference between these two is that this patch is stitched all the way around, and typically they're stitched like very perfectly all the way around the patch. And it's also a very nice, I wouldn't say like a tumbled leather, but it's just a pretty good quality leather, and you can kind of see a little bit of the tumbling on the leather itself. And the printing is really nice, and it doesn't like fade off unless you wash it and things like that, right? But when you look at the fake one, they made a loop through here. So if you kind of see that, that's usually a red flag. I don't think I own any EVISUs myself that you can put a loop through here. You put your belt through there as a belt loop. They're always stitched all four sides on the authentic pairs. Another thing to look for too is that check the coloring of the bottom and the top one. So again, bottom one is real, this one is the fake one. The colors, you know, the one on top gives off more of a yellow, and I hope the camera is picking this up correctly, but it gives off more of like a yellow fake pleather type of color. And the authentic pairs always have a very consistent beigeish color to them. I don't know the exact like color code or anything like that, but just kind of look at this color, and if you kind of refer back to what you're trying to purchase online, then hopefully it can help you out. All right, another thing we're going to compare here is the pocket stitching shaping. And so don't really mind the gold right now, and don't mind the little red tab, but we're just going on the stitching and how straight it is compared to the other. So this one on the left is the authentic pair, this one on the right is the fake pair. On the left, as you can tell, the inside stitching right here, kind of where the left side of my finger is kind of straight and parallel with the outside stitching, right? So those two stitch lines are pretty straight. But once you look at a majority of fake pairs, they always, I don't know what it was and why they did this, but they always make the stitching kind of come out just a little bit. So if I show you there, so you see how it just kind of pushes to the right a little bit there, and then pushes to the left a little bit there. Usually fake pairs do that. I don't know why. And even back in the day, maybe like 2006, 2007, around 2008, a lot of the fake pairs would actually be super exaggerated. So it would come out like this, and then it would come out even farther. But maybe this pair, they improved it, even though it's still not right. So yeah, so it's supposed to be a little bit straighter. Here too, I mean not here too, but the authentic pair, it's a lot more almost flush. It's not flush completely because it does widen up at the end there, but it's way more straight than something like this. All right, so next thing I'm going to touch up on just very lightly, because I don't know enough information about it, and if you know more than I do, then feel free to comment on the comment section below. But you see this red tab here, and then so this authentic pair, this is the right pocket, both of these are right pockets. Authentic pair doesn't have the red tab, right? Because this might have and probably was a international pair from maybe 2000, give or take 2012 maybe, or maybe even earlier than that, 2009. But this one does have a red tab. Now a lot of the fakes are gonna put the red tab there because when EVISU came out, if I were to just give a little story behind this, when EVISU came out, a lot of the fakes were being made in the early and mid 2000s. A majority of those pairs of EVISUs, the authentic pairs, had the red tab on them. But up until I think maybe like 2009, maybe 2010, I don't know when they signed the deal to make the name international brand and have the international website evisu.com separate from the Japan website. But whenever they did that, they did not necessarily adopt the red tab that you see here. So a lot of the pairs that you see now within the past 6 years, 7 years are not going to have the red tab. So if you see someone post something on eBay or Grailed and they're like, oh yeah, like just bought these off evisu.com and it has a red tab, it's not to say that it's fake, but it's to say that you should watch out and check the other like legit checking points to see what is fake and what is real about it, because sometimes they'll release it, very rarely, and it'll say EVISU there, but very rare, or sometimes it has like some kanji, but again, very rare to see. And also another indicator too is that this EVISU tab is actually not even straight. You see how the alignment of the E to the U, the E is farther away from the denim and the U looks like it's like falling inside of the pants itself, right? They stitched it crooked. If it is supposed to have this red tab, it's supposed to be really straight. Yeah, the tab itself is supposed to be super straight, and it's not supposed to have any hiccups, because you got to remember, like, if you see anything on a pair of EVISUs, especially a Japanese pair, but just almost any authentic pair of EVISUs, they're going to be almost perfect, right? Because that's what Japanese raw denim is all about. Japanese raw denim is about, right, having almost a perfect pair of raw denim that eventually becomes you. And it's just every bit and part of it, the stitching, all the details are extremely detailed, right? And it's like there's no hiccups. The inside tags, the tabs on the outside, it's going to be straight. It's not going to be super crooked. You're not going to see like one letter or two letters and you can't see the rest. You'll always be able to see things lined up perfectly. And in this example, you can't see that, right? All right, I'm going to give you a couple more last dead giveaways, and then we're going to end this here. So we're going to talk about the inside tags here. So this right here is the fake pair. All right, so notice how it's crooked, like I just explained. Like usually when you have an authentic pair, everything is really straight. Notice right here, it's like the logo is being stitched into the pants. It should be lined up with the pants. There should be spacing there. There's no spacing there. And also it says made in Hong Kong. Majority of the international pairs are either made in China. Sometimes they're made in Macau. And I don't know if they did Vietnam or not, but yeah, anyway. So those are the international pairs. If you see it made in China, that's no problem. But Hong Kong, this is pretty questionable, right? But the international pairs made in China, and then of course the Japanese pairs are all made in Japan. And also look at the size tag. I have to flip this up to, I mean, it says 34. It's like, man, I have to literally flip it up to tell whether or not it says 34. They sewed it in so deep that you can't see it. It's pretty bad. Like, it's really bad craftsmanship. Total dead giveaway that this is a foo-foo pair, right? So I'm gonna drop that one. Now, if I bring up the authentic pair, you see how everything is aligned up? You see how the spacing for the top of the logo is really, really straight? And also the size 34, nice and clear. And when you flip it up, it still says 34 and it's not upside down. That's also another indicator as well. And notice earlier when I showed you this fake pair, let me go back here. The fake pair, the size is on the side of the stitching and not on the top. On the authentic pair, typically, if not always, the size is right on the top of the tag, and it's just, everything is just lined up really nicely. And also notice the color. They always get this color down perfectly. It's like this washed out kind of fabric, cotton. It's like washed out cotton color, whatever that color is called. And then this one is too bright. It's more of a like a white color, right? And even the face doesn't look right. Like the face looks funny. You see that? Okay, look at this face real quick. Now I'm gonna show you this. It looks so, like, this is printed, looks so much better. This one's embroidered. Hardly ever do you see an embroidered face for the logo on the tag. Like, it's pretty rare. So these are definitely the foo-foo. Last but certainly not least is to check the selvage. Before I talk about this, I gotta say, if you are looking at a pair online on eBay, Grail, Depop, whatever, and they don't have a picture of the inside selvage, I would ask them to take a picture and upload the photo of the selvage to take a look at what the selvage actually looks like. Keep in mind, disclaimer before I talk about selvage, is that if you don't know what the difference between selvage is compared to non-selvage denim, I would look that up. Just literally selvage versus non-selvage. Basically Google that, figure out what the difference is, and maybe come back to this video. But I can lightly show you what the difference is between the two. So these are authentic, and this is what the inside selvage typically looks like. On majority of all the international pairs, you're gonna get this white stripe on one side and then the red stripe on the left side, or even vice versa, right? Red and white. Sometimes they even bring it to make it a white color on both sides. Sometimes it has a red line down the middle, or a green line down the middle, or a green stitch. And these are authentic pairs. Beautifully, beautifully done selvage. This is the stuff you pay for, okay? People pay big bucks to get your jeans looking like this. It's the inside of the jeans, but still, it's like you pay for this special stitching. What you don't pay for is you don't pay for this. What the heck is this? All right, this is not selvage. This is just some regular degular Gap jeans. You know what I mean? Old Navy probably looks like this, and Old Navy probably looks like this, and H&M probably looks like that. In fact, you can bring any pairs of pants to your local tailor, and they could tailor your pants like that, right? But again, if you haven't done your research on what selvage denim is and why it's important to have selvage denim, I would go ahead and go do that homework and then refer back to this video. But to kind of close everything out, look for this look right here, all right? Selvage denim, all right? Before you purchase your EVISUs, and if it looks like anything like this, anything close to this, okay? There's many different ways you could do this. Sometimes there's different stitching colors. Sometimes it looks just a little bit different. But trust me, if it looks like that, it's a foo-foo. Now, the only time that your EVISUs will have this and be authentic is if somebody ended up taking a authentic pair and brought it to a tailor and they ended up tailoring them up. And if they did tailor them up, then, you know, make them skinnier or whatever, they're gonna end up getting rid of the selvage, the beautiful selvage that I just showed you right here, and then it's gonna end up looking something like this, something terrible, super terrible. It's atrocious, it's really bad. But I mean, if it fits the person better, whatever. Anyways, if they end up selling it back on a Grailed and eBay and stuff, there's a possibility it's still real. It's just that they tailored the pants and the selvage is gone. So you have to, of course, check all of those other things that I showed you here today to see whether or not, you know, they're authentic. Okay, closing this video out, I think the last bit of advice I can give to help you out with authenticating is if you're buying a more recent pair of EVISUs that were produced in the past like 5 years or so, it's more than likely that it's going to be an authentic pair because there hasn't been as many replicas for EVISU the past 5 to 6 years in the US anyway. And the last couple times I went to Asia and visiting some of those like huge replica markets and stuff, like the replica companies, they're not into making EVISUs really anymore. I mean, that was 10 years ago, right? Nowadays they're more into copying what's hot, right? It'd be like the Off-Whites, the V-Lones, the Supremes, the Margielas, the Rick Owens shoes and Jordans and stuff. Like that's what's hot for the moment. So replica companies really kind of stopped making replicas like consistently and in huge quantities like almost 10 years ago now. So again, if you're looking at a listing and it really is a pair that was made in the past 5 years, then you know it's more likely that it's going to be a real one. But if it's something that was from way back in the day, 15 years ago, 10 plus years ago, you do run the risk of it being a foo-foo, unfortunately. Alright, so I hope this video was helpful, and if you have questions, comment below. I'll try my best to get to the questions if I can. Follow me on Instagram for more information, so make sure you guys and girls keep it locked. It's your boy Keezy, and I'm out. Peace.
You want to do, and it's just gonna take a minute, but it's gonna work out. Like if you try to cut corners and you put costumes on to do shit, yeah, you gonna get straight, but at what cost? You know what I'm saying? And how you feel when you do this shit for you, 100% for you. You could grind and stay up for 5 or 6 days and not really be tired because it's for you.